Kahalayam Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom to you, brothers that are laboring and pushing this word in truth and sincerity and with charity. I'm the brother Abraham from the camp here in GM Chicago, coming back at you with another lesson. All right. I want to do a quick response to this video from someone who used to be part of GMS Chicago, which is no longer a part. He did a quick little video pretty much trying to say that we don't need to keep the laws of Moses anymore. Yahushua came and, through his sacrifice, we don't need to really keep the laws and observe the laws. We don't need to worry about keeping the Passover and worrying about consuming yeast. Okay. And pretty much just trying to say you can do whatever you want as long as you love the Lord and love your neighbor, and you're pretty much good. You don't got to do anything else, right? Meanwhile, he got his head covered and smoking a cigarette. Okay. But this is what happens when you were in the truth, you had the spirit, and then all of a sudden you don't have the spirit. Okay, and that's this is the scary thing about this walk of ours, that it can happen to anybody. Okay. The scriptures say that he that endureth unto the end, the same shall be saved. So, until the end, we got to keep fighting, we got to keep enduring, and pray as King David prayed to the Lord to not take his Holy Spirit away from him. All right, to cast him not away from that presence. All right, in Sirach it says, above all, pray to the Most High that he direct thy way in truth. Okay, because this is what can happen. All right, but I'm gonna go ahead and let you listen and play the video.
Sitting out here getting some sun, church on a Sunday. What I want to talk about is Hebrews 10. The old way, the old law is not going to save you. It's not going to complete you. You worrying about your garment and this and that. Did I do this? Did I do that? Look, man, the Lord even said it. Love thy neighbor as thyself and have no other power before the Most High. You do those two things, you complete. You won't fail. You do those two things, you should never fail. That's all you have to do in this life. That is the new walk, the new covenant, the new way. Just believing, and everything else will change. You believe in the Lord, you walk in that way, everything else will change. Love thy neighbor as thyself is a big thing. Tell people what you want to be told. Give them the right information. Help people, and don't worship any of these false idols, whether that be man or some gods you made. It's not about, I got to put this on. I used to be a top-ranking Pharisee, persecuting everybody, white, black, Hebrew, Greek, Jews, everybody, Yeah, man, I was a top-ranking Pharisee. What were the Pharisees known for? Telling you to worship their elders, do this, do that. Commandments of men. It's not the living way. It's not what's spoken of in Hebrews 10 and 20. All you have to do is walk in the same path the Lord walked, And he made it very simple, man. Love thy neighbor as thyself, having no other power before him. And that's it. The rest will take care of itself. It's not about, I gotta celebrate this Passover. I'm not gonna eat any yeast. I'm not gonna do this. You gonna fucking destroy yourself thinking like that. How are you gonna do that? They couldn't do it then. And the Lord died to put that away. In this time, you just have to believe. You're gonna sin every day regardless. You just thought some dumb shit. That was a sin. It's walking the walk. That's it. Just believing. That's all you have to do, man. And that's hard for a lot of people. Believing is hard for people in this time. But if you can believe, you can make it. And this is open to everyone. This ain't just a black thing. It's a whole world.
All right, so there you have it. So you see what he's trying to say. You don't really gotta observe the law. And something that we always explain is we know we're not going to be saved by keeping the law, right? But we still observe the law to the best of our ability. Okay? First, let me get this in Judges 5 and 11. It says, they that are delivered from the noise of the archers in the places of drawing water, there shall they rehearse the righteous acts of the Lord, even the righteous acts towards the inhabitants of his villages in Israel. Then shall the people of the Lord go down to the gates, right? So what is the places of drawing water? The places of drawing water symbolizes captivity, slavery, all right? Because in biblical times, those that drew water were the servants, right? The slaves, all right? Which that's what we are in this society, in this world, in this time. That's what we are. We're the drawers of water, right? So they that are delivered from the noise of the archers, that represents the missiles that are coming and going to destroy Babylon the Great. All right. Who's going to be delivered? Those that were rehearsing the righteous acts of the Lord, right? And that's coming back to the ways of our fathers, right? As it says in the book of Job 8 and 8, right? We would go back. Let's get Jeremiah chapter 6 and verse 16. Thus saith the Lord, stand ye in the ways and see, and ask for the old paths, where is the good way, and walk therein, and ye shall find rest for your souls. But they said, we will not walk therein, right? So that's the mentality of this guy, and the mentality of 2/3 of our people, okay? Because they want to continue in fulfilling the lust of the flesh, all right? Giving and feeding to the flesh, its lust, its desires, right? But now that we came into the truth, we start to combat the flesh, right? Not being subject unto the flesh, okay? Let's get Ecclesiastes 12 and 13. It says, let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. This is the whole duty of man. Fear God and keep his commandments, right? He gave us instructions, he gave us statutes, all right, commandments, laws that we should observe, right? That we should try, make an effort, right? That shows your faith, right? Let's get James. Let's get the book of James. All right, what is that? The first chapter or the second chapter? Alright, let's get James 1 and 22. But be ye doers of the word, and not hearers only, deceiving your own selves. And this guy's deceiving his own self, right? He doesn't want to be a doer of the word. He doesn't want to even try to observe what the Lord commanded us to do, right? And we understand that we're not going to be saved by the law. We understand that, but we have to try, right? We have to show the Lord that we're trying, that we're making an effort. All right, it says, "For if any be a hearer of the word and not a doer, he is like unto a man beholding his natural face in the glass. For he beholdeth himself, and goeth his way, and straightway forgetteth what manner of man he was." Okay. No, yeah, I think it was James the second chapter where it talks about faith and works. Right? Sure. This guy says he believes that he has faith. He said, just believe in the Lord. Just have faith. And you're good. Right? That's what he said. Let's get James 2 and 14. What doth it profit, my brethren, though a man say he hath faith, and have not works? Can faith save him? If a brother or sister be naked and destitute of daily food, and one of you say unto them, depart ye in peace, be ye warmed and filled, notwithstanding ye give them not those things which are needful to the body, what doth it profit? Even so faith, if it hath not works, is dead being alone. Okay? So he says, all you gotta do is believe in the Lord. You don't gotta worry about anything else. Everything else will take care of itself. Right? It says, yeah, a man may say, thou hast faith, and I have works. Show me thy faith without thy works, and I will show thee my faith by my works. All right? Yeah, we watch what we eat. We're making sure we're not eating pork. We're making sure uh we're not committing adultery. Okay? We um observe our high holy days. We observe the Sabbath. Okay? All right, let me continue reading. This is verse 21. Was not Abraham our father justified by works, whom he had offered Isaac his son upon the altar? Right? So yeah, Abraham believed. He had faith in the Lord. And that's why when he was told to sacrifice Isaac, he was about to do it. Right? Seest thou how faith wrought with his works? And by works was faith made perfect? All right, it says, and the scripture was fulfilled, which saith, Abraham believed God, and it was imputed unto him for righteousness, when he was called, and he was called the friend of God. All right, it says, ye see then how that by works a man is justified, and not by faith only. So it's not just by faith, it has to be by works as well. All right, let's get 1 John 3 and 18. My little children, let us not love in word, neither in tongue. Yet I believe and I have faith, so I'm good. Right? It says, my little children, let us not love in word and neither in tongue, but in deed and in truth. And hereby we know that we are of the truth, and shall assure our hearts before him. Okay? So this is how we show that we have faith and believe in him, by doing the works, by showing it in our actions. All right, let's get Um, Romans 3:31. Do we then make void the law through faith? God forbid. Yet we establish the law. All right. So, yes, we understand that we're going to be saved by faith, but if we have faith, are we not going to do the works to the best of our ability? All right. There was nothing wrong with the law of Moses. What was wrong, what was in error, what was at fault was us, was the flesh. Right? And that's the reason the law is not going to be done away with, but the flesh is going to be done away with. The only thing that's going to be done away with is sin offering. Because we're not going to sin anymore. We're going to be made perfect. Right? But, that's pretty much it. Just wanted to go into that real quick. But I'm going to end it there, Lord willing. This video was edifying. As always, our honor, glory, and praises goes to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash, double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Until the next time, Shalom.